Ahmaud Arbery trial in Brunswick, Georgia. ABC's Derek Dennis explains.
William Roddy Bryan, a neighbor and co-defendant who recorded the now viral video of Ahmaud Arbery being shot and killed last year, told investigators fellow defendant Travis McMichael called Arbery a racial slur as he lay dying on a street unarmed. Attorneys for McMichael have asked the judge to block the alleged utterance from being presented before the jury. They argue because Bryan is the only witness to the allegation and because he believes Bryan is not going to take the stand, there's no good faith reason to introduce it. Judge Timothy Walmsley will make his ruling later today. Travis McMichael, his father Gregory, and William Bryan are all charged in Arbery's killing. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
The defense in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial in Kenosha, Wisconsin, again calling for a mistrial. This time they say they were given a low-resolution video that, if it had been clearer, may have changed the trajectory of the case. Congressman Paul Gosar censured by the House for posting an anime-style video that shows him killing Democrat Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who said during the vote,
"If you believe that this behavior is acceptable, go ahead. Vote no."
ABC congressional correspondent Rachel Scott.
Capitol Police tells me they have seen an increase in the amount of threats against members of Congress. Democrats say that's why they needed to take a stand. And as for Congressman Gosar, he reshared that violent video on social media once again.
Vice President Kamala Harris, in an exclusive interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos, saw the record number of immigrants now at the U.S.-Mexico border and around the world.
I've been to Guatemala, I've been to Mexico. I was in France last week talking with President Macron about this. I've talked with EU leaders and other allies around the world about what we must collectively do to address the needs of these countries in the Western Hemisphere to stem the flow of migration.
That entire interview can be found on Good Morning America. You're listening to ABC News.
Ad paid for by Complete Car Care. This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to the COVID crisis, we are announcing a low-cost extended service plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay nothing for auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay nothing for auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-549-1985 now. Drivers who are covered by this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair bill again. This auto coverage is at an all-time low, much lower than what dealerships are charging. Additionally, drivers who activate this auto coverage today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and free rental car at no additional cost. Call for your free quick quote today. 800-549-1985. 800-549-1985. What do you have to lose? Again, 800-549-1985.
That Kamala Harris interview coming as leaders of America's neighbors visited the White House today to sit down with President Biden.
America's military.
He'll welcome the Canadian Prime Minister and Mexico's president to the White House, where President Biden will lead talks on everything from COVID to migration, trade, and climate change. Canada and Mexico plan to announce a vaccine sharing agreement with other nations. They'll also talk labor shortages and how migrants may be able to help solve some of those problems.
ABC's Andy Field. Some serious doubts about a new email supposedly from missing Chinese tennis star Peng Shuai. The email disputes her previous claim that she was sexually assaulted by a retired Chinese government official. The chairman of the Women's Tennis Association, Steve Simon, says that the new email only raises more concerns. The Pentagon is stepping in and offering new help to members of the military having trouble feeding their families. Here's ABC's Chuck Sievertson.
America's military has enough to worry about, says Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin.
Food and housing shouldn't be among them.
The organization Feeding America estimates that as many as 160,000 active duty military personnel have trouble feeding their families. Austin announcing
a new toolkit that will help leaders identify service members who are struggling and connect service members and their families to resources and support programs.
Also an increase in housing payments and temporary lodging expense reimbursements. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and navage? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Navage, Navage.
Sherry Preston, ABC.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the risk.
Good morning, everyone, and happy Thursday. It's a milder start to your morning, and we'll see a warm afternoon today. Our highs today back in the mid to upper 70s. We'll see a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky this afternoon with a few small showers possible. A few more showers still in the forecast for tonight. That's as our next cold front moves through. Once that front passes, our temperatures will be falling fast. Highs Friday much cooler and back in the low to mid 50s. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Zach. I do not have that rain listed on my forecast for tonight. I do have some for Sunday night coming up, but I tell you, if you enjoy this kind of weather, you're a happy person today because we have mostly sunny skies for this area with highs around 71, but the wind will be gusting up to about 24 miles per hour. So if you got one or two leaves left on your branches, it'll probably be gone by this afternoon. Mostly clear tonight, lows around 33, 29 tomorrow night, then on Saturday night, 31. So we're getting up and down the scale. Daylights are nice, night times are cool. Again, right now, 44 degrees. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second hour of our morning wake-up call here at WCAB. Now, I have these death announcements. Barbara Ann Cash, 61 of Church Street, died Wednesday, November the 10th. And a gathering of family and friends to celebrate Barbara's life will be held from 3 until 4 Saturday, November 20th at Crow's Mortuary, College Avenue, Rutherford. Crow's Mortuary assisting the family of Barbara Ann Cash. K-Trey Dean McCurry, 70 of Golden Valley, died Saturday, November 13th at Adrium Health. A memorial service will be conducted at 2 o'clock Saturday, November 20th at Golden Valley Church. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is in charge of those arrangements for K-Trey Dean McCurry. Brian Franklin Robinson, 42 of Spartanburg, passed away November 10th. A celebration of life will be held at Crow's Mortuary in Rutherford on Thursday, November the 18th, today from 5 until 7. And Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Brian Franklin Robinson. Clark Self, Jr., age 71 of Chesney, passed away Friday, November the 12th at his residence. The funeral service will be conducted at 7 o'clock this evening at the Harrelson Funeral Chapel. Family will receive friends 1 hour prior to the service at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Clark Self, Jr. Clyde McCoy Vickers, 83 of Forest City, died Sunday, November 14th at Fairhaven of Forest City. The funeral service will be conducted at 3 o'clock today at Second Baptist Church. Burial will follow in the Cool Springs Cemetery with military honors accorded by the Rutherford County Veterans Honor Guard. The family will receive friends from 1:30 until 2:45 today in the sanctuary at Second Baptist Church. The pageant at King Mortuary and Crematory in charge of those arrangements for Clyde Vickers. Linda Earp Harris, 76 of Cliffside, died Saturday, November 13th. A graveside service will be held 11 o'clock today in the Pleasant Grove United Methodist Church Cemetery. The family will greet friends following the service at the cemetery. And the pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Linda Earp Harris. Beverly B.B. Phillips Davis, age 64 of Spindale, formerly of Mooresboro, died November 14th at Rutherford Regional. Those arrangements incomplete at this time and will be announced by Pruitt Funeral Home for Beverly B.B. Phillips Davis. Jerry Lee Akers, age 72 of Mooresboro, died Friday, November 12th at Adrium Health Cleveland in Shelby. The family will have a private service to celebrate his life, and the pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Jerry Lee Akers. And Gil Mays, age 100 of Forest City, passed away Friday, November 25th at his residence. A memorial service is going to be held at a later date, and the cremated remains of Gil and Carlene will be interred privately in Weaverville, North Carolina. And the pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Gil Mays. And those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others, as they become available to us, can be heard this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report on WCAB 100.9 FM, 590 AM, serving the foothills of the Carolinas. Now stand by. It's time for the Bill O'Reilly Morning Update.
Bill O'Reilly here, and I'm warming up from the NRIA.net studios in New York. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. Attention investors, want predictable monthly cash flow? How about double-digit annualized targeted returns with the benefits of real estate without being a landlord? Peace of mind comes from investing with a 15-year industry leader. Savvy investors are learning about the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund, and you should too. So please call 800-800-1414. That's easy, 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at NRIA.net.
On this Thursday, I am thinking about how everybody is hating on Kamala. That's this week's corporate media narrative. Of course, it's based on nothing. Every source used to promulgate the theory is anonymous. People believe what they want to believe. So if you don't like Ms. Harris, why challenge the new narrative? If people don't like her, well, good. Apparently, the folks that see Kamala Harris as an excellent addition to the federal government are few and quiet. That devastating USA Today poll has her job approval rating at a minuscule 28%, Hannibal Lecter territory. It was just after that poll that the anti-Kamala stuff began to appear in the media. Now, I'm pretty sure Joe Biden doesn't care much for his second-in-command. She called him a racist in a primary debate. Hard to come back from that. If someone puts you into a hateful category, you do not forget. Mr. Biden selected Kamala Harris to stimulate minority and women votes, not because he admires her Senate accomplishments, which were scant to be kind. Now, the winds of disfavor are mussing up Kamala's hair, and Joe is not there for her. I do know Kamala Harris is way in over her head. All giggles aside, it's a competence thing, and it will be hard for her to make any kind of comeback. Now this. So I recently ordered Cozy Earth sheets, and these are the softest sheets I have ever owned, by far. They're temperature regulating and made with Vicose from bamboo. They're excellent. So with the holidays coming up, please give the gift of a quality night's sleep and save 35% on Cozy Earth bedding now with code BILL at CozyEarth.com. 35% off at CozyEarth.com. Enter BILL. That is the Morning O'Reilly Update. More analysis later on.
Good morning. Good morning.
Over a half-century of family-friendly broadcasting. This is WCAB AM 590 and the new 100.9 FM.
Every morning I open the door. Hello, stock. Hello, store. Building my business, building my dream. I'm glad to have radio on my team. It reaches my customers and new ones too, and tells them about what we offer and do. I'm watching my budget. I have to spend smart. For me, radio is a good place to start. Radio works harder. Put it to work for you at radioheardhere.com.
Brought to you by this radio station to remind you that radio is heard here. Radio is heard everywhere.
Where our listeners patronize our advertisers. Call our sales department today at 287-3356.
Hello, this is Gilbert. I'm back on the air every Saturday from 8 to 9. Gilbert Talks Taxes because, as we all know, taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either. So put on a pot of coffee because I'll be talking about tax law, tax rules and changes, regulations, retirement, financial strategies, and of course, I'll be telling you how to handle the IRS. This is Gilbert. Listen to Gilbert Talks Taxes every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 right here, WCAB AM 590, FM 100.9.
Born in Illinois in 1853, James East dreamed of becoming a cowboy. At the age of 15, he left home and headed for Texas. Jim worked for a couple of Texas ranches and went on some cattle drives up to Kansas. He also picked up a little extra money by making raids into Mexico and stealing horses to sell on this side of the border, which at the time wasn't necessarily considered a bad thing. In 1880, Jim was working for the LX outfit. It just so happened that Billy the Kid was doing some cattle rustling in the area, and some of the cattle he took had the LX brand on it. The LX ranch manager put together a posse to stop Billy the Kid. Jim East was one of the cowboys chosen to be on that posse. On November 16, 1880, the posse started after Billy the Kid, and Jim East's life took a dramatic change. After searching for a month, the posse set up an ambush for Billy and his gang at Fort Sumner, New Mexico. Although Billy was able to escape, he left his close friend Tom O'Fallard behind dead. A couple of days later, the posse again caught up with Billy at Stinking Springs. Seeing the situation desperate, Billy and his gang surrendered. Supposedly, some of the posse members wanted to hang Billy the Kid right then and there, but East managed to prevent it from happening. An appreciative Billy gave East his rifle. When Jim East returned to Texas, he found the cowboy life dull and the life of a lawman more to his liking, and so he spent the remaining 50 years as a lawman in Texas and Arizona. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James has added 2 new sandwiches to his already delightful menu, along with the fresh-cooked burgers, sandwiches, fresh salads, hot dogs made to order. Now try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. Both come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 to 4, closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford, or call 828-447-4644. And Mondays only, hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Now let's get ourselves informed. It hit the phones this morning, 17 minutes after 7 o'clock for the call-around report. And we start first with the Sheriff's Department, and Sheriff Chris Francis is the man of the hour right now. Let's get a report from him. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well. Another beautiful day we're facing.
Might be our last warm day for a minute, so we'll have to enjoy it and embrace it.
That's exactly right. What's on your report today?
Jim, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 105 calls for service. There have been 11 arrests processed at the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 174. Those arrested by the Sheriff's Office: Jeffrey Doyle Connor, 45-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with felony larceny and received a $5,000 secure bond. Jamie Harrison Airwood, 36-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with breaking and entering coin currency machine, larceny, and trespassing and received a $2,500 unsecured bond. Casey Ryan Tate, 31-year-old male of Forest City, was charged on a parole violation and received no bond at this time. Among our incidents, we had a larceny on Old US 221 North. There was a blink camera valued at $90. The video footage showed a white male in a silver-gray Honda taking that blink camera off the porch and driving down the road with it. In a separate incident, we had a breaking and entering larceny on Pea Ridge Road in Boston. There were several buildings on the property broken into, and that is pending an inventory. We had a larceny of a motor vehicle and financial card fraud, Cove Road and Union Mills. There was a red 2000 Chevrolet Impala that was taken, and a bank card was inside, and this was back in July, but it is just now reported yesterday. We had a larceny on Brookwood Drive in Mooresboro. There was several heirloom pieces of jewelry that were taken. This is where Jeffrey Connor was arrested in connection with this, and some of the jewelry has been returned and recovered, but not all. We had a larceny of a motor vehicle in Best Court in Rutland, a silver 2004 Mazda RX-8 with no tag. Again, that was displaying no tag. I believe there was a visitor staying at that residence, and when the owner of the vehicle realized the visitor was gone, the car was gone also. So there is some more information following up on that. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Well, it was thoughtful of the suspect to stole a surveillance camera from a home front porch and left it running so everybody could get a good picture of who he is.
Well, I don't normally just advertise, but the name of that was Blink, and I do like the fact that that information went to the cloud, so he didn't realize. I guess he thought whenever he took it, he took away the evidence, but that information went to the cloud, and they were able to locate that and give it to detectives. So that was much appreciative. I'm sure he had other things on his mind besides just the camera when he arrived.
Yes, yeah. All right, Sheriff, we appreciate it very much. Thank you for the report, and you be safe out there today, and we'll check with you again next time.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Let's say good morning now to Jessica. She's over at 911, and she has a report for us today. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on that report today, Jessica?
In the past 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 391 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 42 EMS calls. Sheriff's Office responded to 105, Forest City to 61, Lake Lure to 7, Rutherford to 18, Spindale to 31. Fire calls Bostic responded to a fire alarm, and that's all we got today.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. What I was referring to there with the sheriff, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding the person who took a surveillance camera from a home's front porch. Authorities said the man was thoughtful enough to leave the camera running and video himself leaving the victim's home. They hope someone can help deputies identify the suspect. And if anyone has any information about it, contact the Sheriff's Office or Detective Ellenberg at 287-6400. Or Crime Stoppers at 287-8477. They were still running while he stole it and put it in the car and drove away. Well, it's always a good time to shop Christmas at Washburn Store. They always seem to have the right ideas for folks when you're shopping and looking for something different, unique to give somebody. They seem like they've just planned it well, and I think you'll find that to be the case. They do have those rockers in now. You've been wanting some of those. And they took them a while to get here, but 2 years to get them here. But they are beautiful rockers. If you'd like to have those, they come black, white, and natural. So go by, go by and check them out. And other things, including they always get fresh Christmas candy and have a gift basket made for somebody at Christmas. It's all good at Washburn Store, and you'll always be welcomed with a friendly smile. That's Washburn Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Now let's head over toward the Sdo Fire District and say hello to Ruby Taylor. Good morning, Ruby.
Good morning.
What's on your report?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday count, I've got Brent Luckadoo, Claudia Marr, McCrae Haynes, Jennifer Cochran. Happy birthdays, and hope they have a nice day. And the signs are in the neck today and going to the arms tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks, Ruby. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, a South Carolina man was killed Tuesday when his ultralight plane plunged to the ground after takeoff at an airport off Ferry Road. His wife witnessed the 1:15 p.m. crash. Michael Dean Sarte, 74, of Chesney, was pronounced dead at the scene when his aircraft nosedived into a grassy field used as a landing strip for ultralight enthusiasts, according to Captain Jamie Keever of the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. Sarte's wife and another witness that oversees operations at the park reported to authorities that Sarte took off, then went straight up in the air for about 75 feet before the Ultra suddenly nosedived into the ground. It was the victim's first time flying this model, Keever said. First responders attempted to save Sarte before succumbing to his injuries at the scene. The North Carolina Highway Patrol first responded to the crash before the Sheriff's Office took control of the call. An ultralight has only one seat, is only used for sport or recreational flying. Ultralight can be powered by unpowered or unpowered. If unpowered, they should weigh less than 155 pounds. If powered, they weigh less than 254 pounds empty. They have fuel capacity not exceeding 5 gallons and are not capable of speed above 55 knots at full power in level flight and have a power-off stall speed which does not exceed 24 knots. No pilot's license are required. to fly an ultralight plane. It's unclear if Sardi had a pilot's license, but it took an unfortunate nosedive and killed him, 72 years old, in that plane crash. Now let's head over toward Fairfield Mountains Fire District and Gary Wilson. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Glad to have you back.
Good to be back. I took a one-day hiatus there, but
good.
Back with you now. Everything quiet up on this end. But we'll keep beat this weather. I tell you, it's going to get changed this weekend, I guess. But so far this week, it can't be what kind of weather we've been having. That's for sure.
Can't grumble complain about this weather.
Nope, you do. We have nothing we can do to please you, I don't believe. But, Thanksgiving coming up, and people coming in for visit family, and everybody be safe out here on the highways, and hope everybody enjoys themselves. We'll get a good Thanksgiving week coming up. And we're sitting on about 45 degrees this morning. No fire calls overnight for either one of us, and I think we're good to go up here this morning, Jim.
All right, Gary, thanks so much. You have a great day up there.
All right, you too. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Now let's see if everything's nice and quiet over in the Bostic area. And Laverne Upton's on the phone to tell us that news. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm loving this beautiful morning.
I'm telling you, I think we're going to have a beautiful day today.
I think so.
But it's 45 degrees over here in Bostic this morning. The fire department had one call out to a fire alarm. Bostic Florist is having their open house today from 9 to 7. Come out and get some refreshments and check out all of our arrangements. And hope everybody's doing real good this morning.
I think everybody's feeling good except those who don't want to.
That's it. That's it.
Listen, you have a wonderful day over there. We'll check in with you tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Now at 7:28 on this tremendous Thursday morning, we're heading over toward the Sdo Fire District, and Mr. Bob Hodge is on the phone to give us an update. Good morning, my friend. How you doing?
Oh, we're doing just fine up here this morning.
Waking up to a beautiful day, aren't we?
That's right. That sun's coming up bright this morning, and boy, I can really see you good over there this morning.
Well, I'm trying to smile so I'll make you feel good.
Oh, I like that big smile you got on this morning. Oh, well, we're doing good up here this morning, Jim, and with the fire department, with a couple of medical calls. Hadn't had any fire or wreck calls or anything. And want to say happy birthday to Charlie Sweeney this morning. And, Jim, that's about it. Things are quiet so far up here this morning, and everything's looking good.
All right. Thank you so much for that report. I look forward to talking to you again tomorrow.
All right. Bye-bye.
See you, Bob. It's Bob Hodge reporting out of Sdo Fire District. You can catch him most afternoons, too, with the afternoon report here on WCAB between 5 and 5:30, 29 after 7. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you, so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled Aryee. Another beautiful spot in Rutherford County is the Cherry Mountain Fire District, and that's where we'll find Sue Price to give us an update. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
How you
Beautiful morning over here.
Isn't it beautiful? I can handle several days like this, can you?
I know. I believe this is going to be the last one for a while, though. It's going to get cold, isn't it?
It is.
Well, it's that time of year. We've got plenty of leaves on the ground and more to fall, but maybe this will bring them off today. If they get that high wind, that doesn't sound good, does it?
No, it's going to be really strong today. I think the wind gusted up to about 24 miles per hour today.
Well, hope it doesn't blow any trees on the power line. That'll be the only thing to worry about, I guess.
Yep.
Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department, so I reckon they were quiet. That's a good thing. Don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar or my personal calendar today. Fairview's got Riley Van Dyke, and First Broad's got Nolan Smith. So I hope they'll have a good day today. And we have anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And don't have any announcements come in yet, so it's just quiet. But Richard did tell me to tell you that he has made all the citron preserves he plans to make, and he has some citrons left over if anybody wants a citron. And it's 245-6529.
Okay, say that again. Say that number again.
245-6529.
So, folks, if you want citrons and you can make some great preserves from those citrons, that's the number to call.
He's made 2 or 3 batches now. He's got his last one to do today. So,
well, good.
He enjoys them. He enjoys giving them away, too.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I have this morning, Jim.
Thanks, Sue.
You have a good day.
Thanks. You too. Bye.
Bye.
7:32.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? Will your financial advisor be there as your life and financial situation change? Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale, your local Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we focus what's important to you. We create a personalized strategy backed by our advice, our tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we partner together to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Contact me at any time at 828-287-9197. We'll sit down, talk, and we're going to make a strategy that's right for you.
Thank you, Andrew Tisdale. And you could hear Andrew live and in person every Tuesday morning here in the Blue Room talking about how we can be successful with our financial obligations. Well, it's kind of lonely without so many sports things going on. We had the Braves going on, we had Tar Heels going on, we had high school football going on, and now the Braves are finished, and Tar Heels still going on, but high school football is over. And our next game is Saturday, UNC versus Wofford. That's football. And the countdown's 10 a.m., pregame is 11 a.m., and the kickoff is 12 noon. So we still have Tar Heel football, Tar Heel basketball, and that's all for the sports for right now. So the Braves had a great season, too. But we'll hopefully they will come back again real strong for next season. We're going to check in over at Drop-In Family Mart in just a moment, as soon as we can reach them by the phone, find out what kind of breakfast they got going on this morning. Let me remind you that 9:05 this morning is My Great America with Jim and Butch. Popular program that's catching on, and folks are loving it and talking about it. We highlight some of the great things about America. My Great America with Jim and Butch, 9:05 this morning. Butch being here live in the studio with me today.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Couldn't reach drop-in Family Mart this morning. They're busy cooking breakfast for a lot of folks. I'll bet you they do stay busy because they have such a great breakfast over there. And if you've not tried it, you should. I can't get over there in time to have breakfast with them, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And you can have that breakfast just about any way you want it. Fried, scrambled, liver mush, bacon, sausage. I don't know what else they got over there, but it's a great place to have breakfast. And they are busy at it this morning. Now we're going up to Shingle Hollow and talk with Tina White. Good morning, Tina.
Good morning. Those biscuits sound like it'd be pretty good this morning.
Boy, wouldn't that be good?
Yes.
You like gravy on your biscuits?
I do, but it need to stay away from it because it adds to my body.
Yeah, I like them, but they don't like me. They want to hang around too long after it's over with. But I do enjoy them.
So this morning in Shingle Hollow, I don't have gravy biscuits or pork chop biscuits or ham or eggs or liver mush. I do have eggs, but I don't have them made yet. I'm stirring a little later than usual. But it is beautiful up here in Shingle Hollow. It's 45 degrees here this morning. On the birthday calendars, we have Piney Knob has Mr. Ronnie Luckadoo. Hope he has a wonderful birthday. And on my personal calendar, Miss Sandy Jonas. I hope she has a wonderful birthday. And nobody on the others. The fire departments were all quiet. Thankful for that. White House Community Clubhouse is having a turkey shoot this Saturday, and every Saturday between now and Christmas. Starts at 11 a.m. This Saturday, they're also having a bake sale and a vendor sale. A lot of Christmas items and crafts and good baked items. I heard that there's going to be some great stuff, some cakes and pies and cookies. So everybody head out to White House Community Clubhouse this Saturday from 10 to 5. Pleasant Grove Baptist Church is having a community-wide Thanksgiving service on the 24th. That's next Wednesday at 7 p.m. They're inviting all churches and everybody come out. Then Pilgrim's Way Baptist Church is having their 10th annual After Thanksgiving Jubilee, and that will start on November 29th through December the 3rd. And they'll have services at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. So we've got a busy couple weeks up here in Shingle Hollow.
Sounds like it. You will pause long enough to have Thanksgiving, though, won't you?
I am.
Yeah.
Mm.
Listen, I hope you have a wonderful day up there.
I plan on it, and you have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there, and God bless you.
See you now. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Tina White reporting out of Shingle Hollow this morning on this Thursday morning. It's the 18th day of November on the downhill side of this month already. A week from today will be Thanksgiving Day. You believe that? It is, indeed. A week from today, Thanksgiving Day, and then we're rolling right along, and before you know it, it'll be Christmas. We'll get to our next phone call right after this.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Let's see if we can round up Luther Gilligan over in Ellenboro this morning, see if he's wide awake. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great down here. Just here watching the sun come up, drinking coffee.
Yeah, what a day that is, huh?
It is. It's a good way to start the day. But it's quiet down here this morning. Nothing going on. Everybody just get their biscuit and they head on out to work. See, the fire department, they had 2 medical calls yesterday. Other than that, they were quiet last night. Quiet this morning, just doesn't going on there. But we're going to have something going on down here Saturday. 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon, I heard the elementary school out here on Pine Mountain Road. Going to be having a big old bluegrass and fiddlers convention out there. The doors open at 5 o'clock. The music's going to start at 6. So you just come on out and have a good time out there Saturday night. And nothing else going on down here, Jim. So you have a great day up there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'm going to be talking with Ronald Hawkins a little about 8:30 this morning about that bluegrass music show that's coming up. He knows all about it. He's going to be hearing my guests, so he's a good guy. I'm anxious to talk with him.
He's a good old boy.
He's one of the good guys.
Yep. Well, he's been doing that now about 29 years.
Yeah. Listen, be good to him, and you have a great day over there.
I'm going to have a great time. You too. Take care.
Luther Gilligan reporting out of Ellenboro, 741. It's time now for birthdays and anniversaries here on this 18th day of November. If you are one of those folks fortunate enough and blessed enough to have another birthday, let us celebrate with you. Call us at 287-3356, or if you were married on this date, let us celebrate with that as well, 287-3356, and we'll do that right after we do this.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Well, someone told me the other day, Jim, I stopped by Granny B's and had lunch and had one of those subs I've heard you talk about. And I said, well, how was it? They said it was good. I said, that's what they said. It was good. Well, it is good. Lunch is good. Breakfast, they serve breakfast too, Tuesday through Saturday morning. If you'd like to have a good breakfast, they have that: bacon, sausage, liver mush, eggs, cooked in the way you want, biscuits and gravy. Just tell them what you like to have on your breakfast, and they'll fix that up for you. A Granny B's breakfast is a great way to start your morning. And if you have lunch time, great lunch from there. If you have time for pizza this afternoon or tonight, they have a delicious Granny B's pizza as well. Enjoy yourself at Granny B's.
Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday wishes going out this morning to Rylan Holly. He's in the 6th grade at RS Middle School. He's 12 years old. So, Rylan, happy birthday, and thanks for spending it with us. And Jean and Charlene Tony up in Sunshine having their 33rd wedding anniversary today, so we will wish them a happy birthday as well. So good for them, and keep it up, and many, many more. Also on this date, Alan Shepard was first American in space. He was born in 1923, died in 1998. 1928, guess who was born? Mickey Mouse, born on this date in 1928. Linda Evans was born in 1942. I used to love to watch her on TV. Orrin Wilson, he's an actor. He was born in 1968. Some of the events on this date include William Tell shoots an apple off his son's head. 1307 that happened, and they would get him today for that. 1883, standard time zones formed by railroads in the U.S. and Canada. 1902, Morris Michton names the teddy bear after President Teddy Roosevelt. 1928 on this date, Steamboat Willie released first Mickey Mouse cartoon. 1978, Jim Jones and 918 members of People's Temple committed suicide in Jonestown, Guyana. Now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB. Keys to Confident Living coming up in just a few moments. And a little later on, next hour, Ronald Hawkins will be my guest right here in the Blue Room.
My wife and I each have fathers who lived with their respective wives, our mothers, for over 50 years. We have had the security that Dad would be there year after year. There was never a thought that separation or divorce would mar the family atmosphere. Commitment to the Lord and loyalty to their mates was uppermost. Oh, I'm sure there were difficult times, but we never feared they would walk out on us. They stayed with it. They loved their wives, and they loved us. I never thought that much about the importance of the role of a good father until I began to study the Lord's Prayer. Jesus started his model prayer with, "Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name." The view we have of our Heavenly Father is based in part on our view of our earthly father. Margaret and I are so thankful that our models of an earthly father wonderfully prepared us to honor and worship our Father in heaven. Our fathers modeled for us what I think fathers ought to model. They demonstrated love, realistic expectations, fortitude, fidelity, integrity, discipline, loyalty to God and His church, and much more. They were supportive of those in leadership positions, and roast leader was not the dinner-time meal. At times, I'm sure they must have wondered if they were getting through, but we caught more by the way they lived than by what they taught. I remember my father singing a song that had a phrase that went something like this: "Your life speaks so loud, I can't hear what you are saying." Margaret and I want to thank God and our fathers for their godly lives and faithful examples. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
Over a half-century of family-friendly broadcasting.
ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Attorneys for Kyle Rittenhouse have renewed their plea for a mistrial, saying the prosecution didn't play fair with a video that was shown to the jury.
The latest call for a mistrial relates to a piece of drone video that shows Kyle Rittenhouse fatally shooting Joseph Rosenbaum. Defense lawyers say the copy of the video provided by prosecutors is blurry compared to the state's version. Without accusing the prosecution of intentional wrongdoing, Rittenhouse's lawyers want the case thrown out.
ABC's Jim Ryan in Kenosha, Wisconsin. In the Brunswick, Georgia trial of 3 white men accused of shooting and killing 25-year-old black jogger Ahmaud Arbery, one of the men, Travis McMichael, took the stand in his own defense.
McMichael told jurors that his split-second decisions were educated by law enforcement training that he went through when he was in the Coast Guard. Prosecutors said that because of this training, he should have known and done better. We expect prosecutors to question him on the issue of race. For example, they are expected to argue that there were white visitors to the same neighborhood construction site who did not cause Travis McMichael this much alarm.
ABC's Steve Osunsami in Brunswick. With gas prices at a 7-year high, the Biden administration is asking the Federal Trade Commission to investigate if the oil companies are engaging in illegal conduct.
Biden writing in a letter to the FTC, quote, in the last month, the price of unfinished gasoline is down more than 5%, while gas prices at the pump are up 3% in the same time. Biden noting that Exxon and Chevron were on track to nearly double their net income compared to 2019.
ABC's M. Wynn in Washington. Some major retailers say their stores will be stocked for holiday shopping as the mayor of Los Angeles reassures Americans progress is being made on unloading ships.
I'm proud to announce that we have, between, I think, Long Beach and Los Angeles, decreased already by 32% the number of containers that we have on dock.
Eric Garcetti, you're listening to ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
A new lawsuit over the deadly accidental shooting on the set of the Alec Baldwin movie Rust. The production script supervisor, Mamie Mitchell, accusing producers of ignoring safety protocols. And her lawyer, Gloria Allred, says,
in that scene, there was no script that called for him to discharge a gun. And that is very important.
Cinematographer Helena Hutchins was killed when that gun went off. The Justice Department today announcing $139 million in grants to police departments across the country to help them hire more officers in a community policing program. Production lines firing up again at farm equipment maker John Deere after workers who have been on strike for more than a month agreed to a new deal.
John Deere's United Auto Worker members ratifying a contract that gives them a 20% raise over 6 years, 10% just this year. Members will also get a more than $8,000 signing bonus, enhanced retirement, and cost of living benefits. The contract covers more than 10,000 John Deere workers across the country.
ABC's Andy Field. Amazon and Starbucks are teaming up on a new concept store in New York City. It's basically a combination of a Starbucks pickup location where people put in orders on their app and then grab what they bought, and an Amazon Go. That store is using Amazon technology where shoppers check in and anything they take out is automatically charged to their Amazon account. This is ABC News.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. But one thing is for sure. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly sunny sky becoming partly cloudy this afternoon. We'll see another warm day ahead with highs today in the mid to over 70s. It'll be breezy at times with wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour for today. Could see a few small showers this afternoon, a few more showers in the forecast tonight. That's as our next cold front moves through. Once that front passes, our temperatures turn significantly cooler. Highs Friday back in the low to mid 50s. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Well, it looks like all the way through Thanksgiving, it's going to be real nice. Look at Wednesday's weather, November the 24th. Mostly sunny with highs around 52, light wind. And it looks like Wednesday night and Thursday is going to be really kind of nice as well. Well, that'd be good for Thanksgiving when it gets get out and pitch horseshoes while Mama's cooking the turkey and play badminton and croquet. And do the kids still do croquet? I don't know. It's older. Maybe that's a lost art. Badminton, maybe they do. Horseshoe, pitch horseshoe. It's kind of nice to think about those kind of things. We have 44 degrees currently here at WCAB in Rutherford. Well, Anchor Down is one of those stores down in downtown Forest City that makes you want to come back again and again. That's because they have so much in store that makes your trip worthwhile. Clothes, shoes, and books are 50 cents. Jewelry is $1. Coats and pocketbooks, $2. Anchor Down has new toys and Christmas items at really low prices. Christmas decorations, including trees, are greatly reduced. Beautiful wreaths are slashed. New arrivals each week, and it is storehouse of fun shopping. All furniture is half price. All I can say is you just have to go by and see for yourself. It's Anchor Down on 155 West Main Street, Forest City, right across from Carolina Chiropractic, 10 to 5 Tuesday through Friday. You won't need much money to buy good-looking stuff at Anchor Down.
Hey y'all, my name is Alex and I'm the owner of a sweet little shop called The Crooked Nook, located at 104 West Main Street in downtown Forest City. Our hours are Wednesday through Saturday from 11:30 to 7, and we offer several things such as strange antiques, fabulous oddities, and stunning metaphysical items. Look for us on Facebook and Instagram at The Crooked Nook WNC, or y'all pop in soon, say hi, and check out the many specialty items we have and the hundreds more that we can get. I look forward to seeing y'all soon at The Crooked Nook.
And they're right beside PieSafe there in downtown Forest City. Stop in and say hello to them. Tell them you heard about them right here on WCAB. Now some news from here and there. A South Carolina man was killed Tuesday when his ultralight plane plunged to the ground after takeoff at an air park off Ferry Road. His wife witnessed the 1:15 p.m. crash. Michael Dean Sarte, 72, of Chesney, South Carolina, was pronounced dead at the scene when his aircraft nosedived into a grassy field used as a landing strip for ultralight enthusiasts, according to Captain Jamie Keever of the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office. Sarte's wife and another witness that oversaw operations at the park reported to authorities that Sarte took off and went straight up in the air for about 75 feet before the ultralight suddenly nosedived into the ground. It was the victim's first time flying this model, Keever said. First responders attempted to save Sarte before succumbing to his injuries at the scene. The North Carolina Highway Patrol first responded to the crash before the Sheriff's Office took control of the call. Article according to the Daily Courier. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is asking for help finding the person who took a surveillance camera from a home's front porch. Authorities said the man was thoughtful enough to leave the camera running and videoed himself leaving the victim's home. They hope someone can help deputies identify the suspect. Anyone knows anything about it, contact the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office at 286-2911 or Detective Ellenberg at 287-6400. Meanwhile, the Daily Courier is also reporting that Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy wide receiver Dakota Twitty has been selected to be on the North Carolina Shrine Bowl roster. Twitty, a senior, is the first player in school history to be selected for the Shrine Bowl. Due to a decision made in September, the annual Shrine Bowl game will not happen this year. Look for a feature story on Dakota in Saturday's edition of the Daily Courier. Well, the number of airline passengers for Thanksgiving this year is expected to rebound to pre-coronavirus pandemic levels, but the Transportation Security Administration says it's ready to handle the surge. Administrator David Perkowski said Wednesday he expects agency staffing to be sufficient for what's traditionally TSA's busiest travel period. Prikoski told ABC's Good Morning America, "We are prepared." He said travelers should expect long lines at airports and plan to spend a little more time getting through security. Well, we experienced that even before this time, right? In 2019, a record 26 million passengers and crew passed through U.S. airport screening in the 11-day period around Thanksgiving, but that plummeted in 2020 as the pandemic kept people at home. Prikoski said he didn't think a vaccine mandate going into effect for TSA agents Monday would have any effect on staffing for Thanksgiving next week. In fact, implementation of the mandate will make travel safer and healthier for everyone, he said. So we see quite a significant increase in the number of our officers that are vaccinated, and I'm very confident that there will be no impact for Thanksgiving, he said. Prikoski told NBC's Today on Wednesday he remains very concerned about the issue of unruly passengers as incidents on airplanes have continued. The level of unruly behavior is much higher than I've ever seen it, he said. The Federal Aviation Administration says it has referred 37 cases involving unruly airline passengers to the FBI for possible criminal prosecution since the number of disruptions on flights began to spike in January. Well, the Daily Courier is also reporting that for more than 4 years, Heart of the Foothills Animal Rescue has had a successful partnership with Rutherford Outdoor Coalition. It began in the spring of 2017 when Heart of the Foothills was a Brother Wolf affiliate. This is when ROC began organizing dog walks. Usually once per month, ROC volunteers would go to the Heart of the Foothills Adoption Center in Rutherford, where shelter employees match them with a dog. ROC volunteers then take the dogs for an hour-long walk, usually on the Thermal Belt Rail Trail. The dogs' walks are a great opportunity for folks to get outside, enjoy the rail trail, and provide meaningful enrichment to the dogs at the Heart of the Foothills Animal Rescue, said Jess Kerr of ROC. Every time we do a dog walk, we're stopping to talk with folks on the trail about what we're doing, and we post that event to our social media page. The number of volunteers for each dog walk varies, but usually ranges from 6 to 12. Well, it was a big day in Spindale on Tuesday. Phase 1 of the Town of Spindale Downtown Streetscape project has officially been completed. A ribbon-cutting ceremony was held on Main Street near the Spindale House lawn Tuesday morning, with Spindale Commissioner Nancy Walker cutting the ribbon. Officials believe the Streetscape project will improve the business atmosphere, enhance the experience of visitors to downtown, and ensure long-term visibility of downtown. The project began a year ago in November 2020 and includes several primary components. Davis Street, along with portions of Tanner and Ohio Streets, were reconfigured one way. These changes increased safety and efficiency and added a large safe loading zone area behind the Main Street businesses on Davis Street. These changes also cleared up areas that were once more congested on Tanner Streets near the post office and the Spindale House. So have to check that out. And Streetscape project was funded by the town and other great sources, including the Rutherford County Tourism Development Authority and part of Rutherford-bound Tourism Master Plan. Meanwhile, more on a local note, KidSense's Children's Interactive Museum has received a $9,000 grant to purchase equipment to help it partner with Lake Lure Classical Academy to offer a series of free, hands-on, STEAM-themed maker workshops to 7th grade science students. STEAM is an acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, Art, and Math. A primary focus of these programs will be to help youth understand sustainable practices in the production and use of energy. Proficiency in these areas of study will help our children find their own sustainable futures, said Museum's Executive Director Willard Whitson. So congratulations on receiving this grant. It's 14 minutes after 8 o'clock. Special guest in this morning at 8:30. The Community Foundation of Western North Carolina recently awarded grants totaling $6,450 to Rutherford County schools from the Learning Links grant program. The grants provide local teachers with funding for activities designed to make required coursework engaging and relevant to their students. 2 Learning Links grants will support projects at Harris Elementary and Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. The grants will fund field trips and the purchase of materials to help students learn about self-sufficiency and the history of agrarian culture in Western North Carolina. So congratulations. The Community Foundation of Western North Carolina inspires mobilizing resource to enrich lives and communities in 18 counties. Well, as of November 15th, Gardner-Webb is reporting only 3 positive COVID cases among our students. 2 staff, a student, 1 staff, and faculty, none. All are in isolation off campus. The trend continues in the right direction with fewer cases and quarantines. Mask on and get your shot, they say Bulldogs. Face covering and mask are not presently mandated on the campus at Gardner-Webb, but they are again following NCDHSS in recommending their use indoors, especially in small or crowded locations. Face coverings are required in the Charlotte Center per Mecklenburg County order, so get your mask on. Gardner-Webb University does not presently require a COVID vaccine of its faculty, staff, or students, but consistent with recommendations from North Carolina's Department of Health and Human Services, they are encouraging it very strongly. I'm glad they don't have the mandate. That's good for Gardner-Webb. 16 minutes after 8 o'clock right now, and we'll have the Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a moment.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117. The Medicine Box in Rutherfordton now has the flu shots available. No appointment is needed. And they also have the COVID and booster shots available. Appointment is preferred. Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
8:17, just before the Sheriff's Report is aired again, share this with someone sent this to me. One of you perhaps listening sent this to me. But it says the best slave is one who thinks he is free. Saul Alinsky died about 43 years ago, but his writings influenced those in political control of our nation today. Recall that Hillary did her college thesis on his writings, and Obama writes about him in his books. Saul Alinsky, well, he died June 12, 1972 at Carmel by the Sea, California. Education was at the University of Chicago. His spouse was Irene Alinsky. Books, Rules for Radicals, Reveille for Radicals. That's some of his books that he wrote. Anyone out there think that this stuff isn't happening today in the U.S.? Well, I beg to differ, folks. It is indeed happening. Here are some 8 rules that are currently in place from Saul Alinsky's book, How to Create a Social State, by Saul Alinsky. How to Create a Social State by Saul Alinsky. There are 8 levels of control that must be obtained before you're able to create a social state. The first is the most important. Number 1, health care. Control health care and you control the people. Number 2, poverty. Increase the poverty level as high as possible. Poor people are easier to control and will not fight back if you're providing everything for them to live. Number 3, debt. Increase the debt to an unsustainable level. That way you're able to increase taxes, and this will produce more poverty. Number 4, gun control. Remove the ability to defend themselves from the government. That way you are able to create a police state. Number 5, welfare. Take control of every aspect of their lives, food, housing, and income. Number 6, education. Take control of what people read and listen to. Take control of what children learn in school. You see any of this happening, folks? You see any of this happening across the country right now? Number 7, religion. Remove the belief in the God from the government and schools. Number 8, class warfare. Divide the people into the wealthy and the poor. This will cause more discontent, and it will be easier to tax the wealthy with the support of the poor. Does any of this sound like what's happening in the United States today? Just asking, does any of this take control of every aspect of your life, food, housing, and income? Increase the debt to an unsustainable level? Control the health care? increase the poverty level as high as possible, remove the ability to defend themselves. They're working on that right now. Alinsky merely simplified Vladimir Lenin's original scheme for world conquest by communism under Russian rule. Stalin described his converts as useful idiots. The useful idiots have destroyed every nation in which they have seized power and control. Could it be happening presently at the alarming rate in the United States? If people can hear this and still say everything is just fine, then there is a question about your sustainability. It's difficult to free fools from the chains they revere. Someone sent that to me. The best slave is one who thinks he's free. Thank you, whoever sent that to me. I appreciate it, and it's so relevant to what we're seeing across the nation today, particularly among education, particularly among religion, particularly among closing us all in and tearing down the family, tearing down the church, tearing down the education. All those three pillars of strength for a country have been whittled away because of this fear of this COVID pandemic. Now they're talking about bringing out another one because this one's about to level off. Let's bring out another one now. Folks are about to get over it. Bring out another one. Watch it. Sheriff Chris Francis was on with us earlier this morning. We recorded his conversation for broadcast at this time. Sheriff?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 105 calls for service. There have been 11 arrests processed at the county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 174. Those arrested by the Sheriff's Office: Jeffrey Doyle Connor, 45-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with felony larceny and received a $5,000 secured bond. Jamie Harrison Airwood, 36-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with breaking and entering coin currency machine, larceny, and trespass and received a $2,500 unsecured bond. Casey Ryan Tate, 31-year-old male of Forest City, was charged on a parole violation and received no bond at this time. Among our incidents, we had a larceny on Old US 221 North. There was a blink camera valued at $90. The video footage showed a white male in a silver-gray Honda taking that blink camera off the porch and driving down the road with it. In a separate incident, we had a breaking and entering larceny on Pea Ridge Road in Boston. There were several buildings on the property broken into, and that is pending an inventory. We had a larceny of a motor vehicle and financial card fraud, Cove Road and Union Mills. There was a red 2000 Chevrolet Impala that was taken, and a bank card was inside, and this was back in July, but it is just now reported yesterday. We had a larceny on Brookwood Drive in Mooresboro. There was several heirloom pieces of jewelry that were taken. This is where Jeffrey Connor was arrested in connection with this, and some of the jewelry has been returned and recovered, but not all. We had a larceny of a motor vehicle in Bestcourt and Ruthven's, a silver 2004 Mazda RX-8 with no tag. Again, that was displaying no tag. I believe there was a visitor staying at that residence, and when the owner of the vehicle realized the visitor was gone, the car was gone also. So there is some more information following up on that. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Well, it was thoughtful of the suspect to stole a surveillance camera from a home front porch and left it running so everybody could get a good picture of who he is.
Well, I don't normally just advertise, but the name of that was Blink, and I do like the fact that that information went to the cloud, so he didn't realize. I guess he thought whenever he took it, he took away the evidence, but that information went to the cloud, and they were able to locate that and give it to detectives. So that was much appreciative. I'm sure he had other things on his mind besides just the camera when he arrived.
Yeah.
Classic oldies from the vault of treasured music. Right here on 100.9 FM.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. NC State playing for the second night in a row could not match the energy from the night before. Oklahoma State made 6 free throws in the final half minute and fended off the Wolfpack 74-68 in the Hall of Fame showcase. NC State head coach Kevin Keatts afterward.
Our team fought the entire time. We got down as much as 14, and we found a way to claw back in it, which is a very positive thing for us.
The next home game for Duke is tomorrow night versus Lafayette. CBSSports.com showing tickets are available starting at $115. Meanwhile, a greedy pig is asking a lot more for a ticket to see Mike Krzyzewski coach his final regular season game at Duke. A seller on StubHub is listing 2 floor seats in Cameron Indoor Stadium for the March 5th matchup against North Carolina for $575,000 each. Got to be kidding me. On the pro court, Terry Rozier scored 19 points. Miles Bridges added 17. And the Charlotte Hornets beat the Washington Wizards 97-87 last night to extend their win streak to 4 and end the Wizards streak at 5. Head coach James Borrego talking about the latest stretch of good luck.
I think we're building an identity and starting to understand what wins in this league, and our group is taking ownership of that. So I'm proud of the group for the last 2 wins, but I'm more proud of the growth.
Yesterday, Panthers head coach Matt Rule said Cam Newton's trending towards starting on Sunday versus the Washington football team. Right now, the former NFL MVP is cramming the playbook and picking up the game plan. Does that mean he'll take on the majority of snaps, or will P.J. Walker be involved? Rule says he's not sure yet.
We're just going to have both guys ready to play and kind of take it day by day in terms of how much, obviously today was first and second down, how much Cam felt good about. Just trying to put together a game plan. So we'll have both guys ready, and how we use them, I think we'll figure out as the week goes on.
The excitement of Newton's return to Charlotte compounded with the return of former Panthers head coach Ron Rivera, who is the 2-time NFL Coach of the Year during his time with Newton in Charlotte. This is NCN Sports.
The holiday season is right around the corner. So give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. Give them a Stihl. From powerful trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws under the tree to branded accessories stuffed in their stockings, the Stihl Holiday Gift Guide has something for everyone. Visit your local Stihl dealer or go to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. Available at participating dealers while supplies last. Stihl outdoor power tools may be hard to wrap, but once they get opened, you'll see why Stihl is so easy to give. Find the right gift this year with battery power made by Stihl. From mowers and blowers to trimmers and chainsaws, our AK Homeowner series of battery tools starts at just $199.99. Shop now by visiting your local Stihl dealer or going to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Real Stihl. Find yours. All prices MSRP available at participating dealers while supplies last.
UCLA making obvious why they deserve to be number 2 in the AP men's basketball poll. Another early season blowout. The Bruins' latest victim, North Florida, 98-63 the final. Meanwhile, Gonzaga, UCLA, and Kansas remain 1, 2, 3 atop the latest rankings. Michigan moved up 2 spots to number 4. Villanova up 1 spot to 5th. Duke moved up 2 spots. They're number 9. Carolina up 1 spot to 18. Brooklyn made a quick return to its winning ways. James Harden led the way with 27 points as they beat the shorthanded Cavaliers 109-99 last night. Damian Lillard struggled to start but warmed up and finished with 22 points and 10 assists as the rallying Trailblazers cruised to a 112-107 win over the Bulls. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly sunny sky becoming partly cloudy this afternoon. We'll see another warm day ahead with highs today in the mid to upper 70s. It'll be breezy at times with wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour for today. Could see a few small showers this afternoon, a few more showers in the forecast tonight. That's as our next cold front moves through. Once that front passes, our temperatures turn significantly cooler. Highs Friday back in the low to mid 50s. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
This is the kind of fall weather you like. Cool in the mornings and warming up in the daytime. That's what we're having right now. It's 45 right now, warming up to about 71 for a daytime high now. It gets a little warmer and cooler throughout the weekend. Now, Sunday night looks like it's going to be possibility of some rain showers Sunday night with 41. And then on Monday night, we'll have a low of 26 with the wind gusting to about 15 miles per hour. So you know what that means. Then Tuesday night, mostly clear, lows around 26 and light wind. And then Wednesday and Thanksgiving Day looks pretty good right now. We'll tell you more about Thanksgiving Day as it gets a little bit closer. Just a reminder that we'll be doing the traditional lighting of the trees in downtown Forest City on Thanksgiving now, like we grew accustomed to before COVID hit. They're coming back and turning those lights on in His glory. We'll be doing the Christmas concert prior to that, so we hope you can come out, bring your family out, and enjoy that. I hope the weather's going to be cooperative, maybe just brisk enough to sort of wear a jacket on Thanksgiving night, but we'll keep you all posted on what's taking place. Got a special guest in the studio with me, and we'll talk with him in just a moment.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continuing to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid-19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recall devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines, and November is Diabetes Month. Get 10% off diabetic socks for the month of November at Smith's Drugs of Forest City.
It's 8:31. Ronald Hawkins is in my studio with me this morning in the Blue Room to talk about some things. We're talking about the 30th Annual Ellenboro Fiddlers and Bluegrass Convention. Ronald, the 30th Annual, you must have been a teenager when that first started, right?
Well, I was a little younger than I am now, but we've been right there for it each year.
It's been a big event over the years, hasn't it?
It has, and it's something people in the community look forward to.
What was the idea behind the first starting of that?
Well, there's two things. One, if you go back into the mid-1920s in the Hollis community, which is a few miles north of Ellenboro, there was a fiddlers convention started there in Hollis, ran from the mid-20s to the mid-60s. It, too, was held during the Thanksgiving season. So after several years of not having a fiddlers convention in the area, some of us that were involved in the exhibit hall at the Colfax Fair, the Ellenboro Fair, decided it'd be a good gesture to recreate that thing. First of all, as a continuation of the heritage of the fiddlers convention in the area, and then secondly, to help in our efforts to generate some additional financial support for the students rather at Ellenboro Elementary School. So it's kind of a fundraiser for the school as well as a community.
Obviously, it was a great idea because 30 years anniversary, 30th annual this year, so it's been successful. And with the history of Rutherford County, pickers and grinners in Rutherford County with bluegrass music, it's very acceptable to have something like this to continue.
Yes, it is.
Now, this one coming up on Saturday, November the 20th at the Ellenboro School Gymnatorium. Tell our listeners a little bit about that one.
Okay, we'll open the doors to the public at 5 o'clock, and then at 6 o'clock we'll begin the music program. Our host band this year is New Ground Riders, and they'll play for a while, and then the competitors will start on stage. And it's interesting that we don't know who's going to be there to compete until they walk in the door.
Really?
There's no pre-registration required. They register on site. They can fill out a form that they can get from Facebook on our Facebook page and fill that out and bring with them if they wish. But basically, whoever shows up is who we put on the stage.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. It keeps the excitement level up.
Yes. So we usually have anywhere from 8 to 15 different acts. Some of them are full bands, and then some are individuals or maybe just 2 or 3 people playing together.
Quite a bit of money being given away.
Yes, we give away about $1,200 in prize money. It's $400 for the first place band, $200 for second place, and third place band gets $100, and then each individual first, second, and third place for each of the instruments get some prize money as well. And we give out some trophies to those same people.
Now, the location, of course, has it always been at Ellenboro School, the old school before the new one?
Yes, it was at the old school before the new one. The new one there on Piney Mountain Road has certainly been the site of the Fiddlers Convention since it's been open.
This was well attended every year, isn't it?
Well, it does vary from year to year, the attendance, and we would encourage folks to come out and support it, because if they don't, we can't keep it going. Yeah. So it does take some support from the community, and we appreciate those that do come out and support it, both the players and the spectators.
What does it cost to get in?
$10 for adults, and children 10 and under are free. And of course, any of the competitors don't have to pay an admission.
Will there be food available?
There will be snacks. We have coffee and canned drinks and wrapped snacks, so they can get them a bite to tide them over till they get home for a midnight snack.
Well, I think folks are ready for something like this again, and I'm glad things are opening back up. Now, did you postpone it last year? I can't remember.
Yes, it was not held last year due to the COVID situation, but yes, we're hopeful that everyone is ready for some good family-oriented entertainment, and they'll come out Saturday night, November the 20th, Ellenboro School, and be with us.
Do you pick and win any?
I listen. I am not a musician. I enjoy listening, but I can't hardly play a radio.
Get a little static when you do.
Yeah, I get a little static when I do.
Now, are all the musicians that will be competing, is it limited to local, or can they come in from McDowell or Polk County?
No, they can come from basically anywhere. Most of them certainly would be within a 75 or 100 mile radius, but we do have people from out of state. Most years we'll have some out of state participants, and there again, you never know who will be there till they walk in the door.
And many of them bring their own following with them, so it tends to be a pretty good crowd of people.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's always good. I'm glad you're doing that again. Doors open at 5 o'clock, and that's the Ellenboro School Gymatorium, Piney Mountain Church Road, Ellenboro. And a lot of folks, when they say Ellenboro School, they think about the old school where the fair is, but This was the new school.
This is the new school out on Piney Mountain Church Road.
30th annual. That is great. That's a history that people don't want to break down.
Right.
It's I think that's one of those things that has become a tradition in Rutherford County that we want to keep building up and encouraging folks to make it a bigger event every year.
Right.
Anything else you want to tell us about the Fiddlers Convention?
No, it's we've pretty well covered it. Just again to say it is a family-friendly venue. They can bring their grandma, and they can bring their 10-year-old and everyone in between. Mm-hmm. And we'd be happy. And one other thing, we do have a variety of ages in our performers. We'll have teenagers and sometimes pre-teens that'll play and sing, and all the way up to folks that are old and gray like me and have been picking and grinning on the side for years and years. So it's a variety of entertainment. So if you don't like one act, just wait a few minutes. The next one will be one that'll please you.
Yeah. Do the competitors, the band, do they play one song, two songs, or how do you gauge
Normally they play 3 songs each, and that's what we ask them to be prepared to play three numbers.
Well, it's good the money's going to the Ellenboro School, because schools always need extra money.
Yes.
As does the Colfax Free Fair. The money, it goes to the schools.
That's correct. Yes.
You've been a big part of that also, haven't you?
Well, some other folks and myself worked to help organize the exhibit hall and car show and things of that nature down on the lower playground. And there's a lot of community volunteers for the other parts of the fair as well. So that too is a big community-oriented event for that part of the county and surrounding areas. People come from all over for that.
Yeah. Was this year a big year for the fair?
Yes, it was. I wouldn't say it was a record crowd by any stretch. Some of the numbers were down, but it was good that we could open back up for a full-fledged fair this year.
Ellenboro's got a lot going. The Colfax Free Fair, the Fiddlers Convention coming up, and some new businesses opened there in Ellenboro, so things are popping over there.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see that.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah. Are advance tickets available, or are they all at the door?
No, they're all at the door.
Yeah. $10 for adults, and kids 10 and on to get in free.
Correct.
Soft drinks, coffee, and snacks available for purchase beginning at 5.
That's right.
And look for Ronnie Hawkins. He'll be there welcoming everybody.
Yep. Glad to have everyone.
Yeah. Ronnie, thanks so much for your time to share a little more insight into this. We've been plugging it some, but we wanted you to come by and let folks know that you've been with it a long time and how important it is to the school system in Ellenboro and for the community as well and for Rutherford County. It's a great thing.
Thank you, Jim, and we appreciate having you up here today and appreciate your support for the event.
Thank you. I'll be back in just a moment. The Grace of God Rescue Mission in Forest City is again providing a hot, delicious meal and friendship Thanksgiving Day for those who need it. This free meal is a ministry outreach from Terry Hageman and his team at Grace of God Rescue Mission. If you know someone who needs a good hot meal and good fellowship, invite them to the mission on West Main Street, Forest City at 11 o'clock Thanksgiving Day. Remember the date and time for this meal, Thanksgiving Day at 11 o'clock for those who need our love and friendship. For just $5, you can provide one of these dinners or one of the more than 52,000 meals that will be served next year. Hungry, hurting, and homeless people need our help. Whatever you can give, it will be appreciated. Mail your gift to the Grace of God Rescue Mission, Post Office Box 212, Forest City 28043. It is tax deductible, and your dollars go a long way to help those who need it. For more information, go to www.thegraceofgodrescuemission.org. On behalf of the volunteers at the Grace of God Rescue Mission, Main Street, Forest City, thank you. We have so many good things in the county that we need to support. The Grace of God Rescue Mission is one of those that I encourage you to support as often as you can by donations or volunteering. And, of course, this free Fiddler's Convention we were talking about, it's not free, but the Fiddler's Convention we were talking about, the Colfax Free Fair, those kind of things that we do here in the county, we need to support. I know a lot of folks love to drive somewhere else to support things, and which is okay. But anytime we have something like this at home, let's get behind it and support it as often as we can. This Fiddler's Convention has been going on 30 years, so it must be doing something right over there. If you like picking and grinning with banjos and fiddles and guitars, and you should come to that and make it a family event, and knowing that the money is going to be used right here at home for Ellenboro School. It's not going to some faraway place. All right, we have a few things else to talk about this morning. Plus, 9:05 this morning is My Great America with Jim and Butch. Butch is in the building, folks, and he's ready and rare and able to go this morning, and we'll do that here in just a few moments. For the second time in less than a week, dozens of children in the Washington, D.C. area, were given the wrong dose of the Pfizer vaccine. Now, listen to what I'm saying. For the second time in less than a week, dozens of children in the Washington, D.C. area were given the wrong dose of the Pfizer vaccine. According to WTOP-TV in Washington, almost 100 students at South Lake Elementary School in Montgomery Village, Maryland, received a diluted amount of the pediatric Pfizer vaccine during a clinic on November the 10th. Parents of 98 children were notified by phone of the mistake on Monday. To make up for the diluted amount, the kids who received the incorrect doses will receive an additional shot this Wednesday. If the child can't attend that, their parents will have to schedule a make-up dose appointment when they can. Even though this is the second such child vaccination hiccup in the same area in a week, the story still hasn't gotten much mention nationally. In part, no doubt, because it doesn't fit the narrative for some outlets or because tech giants like Google are demonetizing publications that do run with this. The Western Journal, where this article came from, is dedicated to fighting this. And if you appreciate the Western Journal, go to that website and subscribe to it and learn more about it. The Montgomery County Department of Health and Human Services learned on Saturday that the affected children received an amount of Pfizer's pediatric vaccine that was diluted more than recommended. The staff person realized their mistake and notified officials, the department said in a news release on Monday. Health officials consulted with the Maryland Department of Health and Pfizer, who recommended that the children receive an additional dose as soon as possible. Dr. James Briggers, acting Montgomery County Health Officer, said, "We apologize for the error and we are offering another opportunity for the children to be revaccinated." What if it had been a serious mistake? And perhaps we don't know how serious this mistake was, a diluted version of the Pfizer. He added, "We are confident that this is an isolated situation and staff have already received additional training on reconstituting and administering pediatric doses." It happens twice in the general area. They didn't learn anything for the first time. The Montgomery County Council said they were extremely concerned about the kids being given the wrong vaccine. He said, we shared our concerns directly with our acting health officer, Dr. James Briggers, who has assured us that the department is conducting a top-to-bottom review of this issue and has identified human error as the cause of the diluted doses. That's scary, folks. That's scary. Human error caused the dilution of those Pfizer vaccines going to children. How many errors are there across the nation that's going to happen? Don't want to scare anybody, but I'm just passing out the facts to you, let you know about the information. Meanwhile, the Biden administration has begun ramping up its attack on religious freedoms in America with moves that would reverse President Trump's actions that supported that constitutional right. A report by Fox News explains that details available so far come from a draft memo that the networks obtained. The report describes how Biden's targets are the First Amendment and the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. And he's revving up things to try to crack down on that. One of the actions would involve the Department of Health and Human Services rolling back the authority they had been given to the Office of Civil Rights to prevent violation of religious liberty. That department is run by Xavier Becerra, the infamous California politician who has promoted unrelentlessly abortions for all at any time. He is responsible, along with Kamala Harris, for a criminal case brought against undercover reporters who revealed the abortion industry profiting from the sale of the body parts of unborn babies in a series of videos. One abortionist notoriously explained, I want a Lamborghini, explaining her requirements for more money. Yeah. The Trump administration had beefed up protection for religious liberty, with the president then issuing an executive order and then Attorney General Jeff Sessions giving agencies a list of guidelines on the federal law, free exercise issues and such. HHS then granted OCR the authority to conduct RFRA compliance reviews and pursue other actions as may be necessary to facilitate and ensure compliance. Fox News said the HHS internal memo is to be made public soon, but HHS declined to respond to requests for comment. So they're revving up opportunities to attack the religious freedoms under the First Amendment that was so protected under the previous administration. Now they're wanting to tear all that down. How much of this stuff can we trust that's going on up there? How much of that can we put our confidence in to know when we have a president that makes up stuff as he goes? He made up another story just recently about a house burning down with his wife in it. I don't make this stuff up, folks. I promise you I do not. The Western Journal is reporting this story. Luckily for Joe Biden was lying again. The president's well-earned reputation for stretching the truth past the breaking point got another boost on Tuesday when he used an appearance in New England to promote his $1 trillion infrastructure bill to tell the audience he knew firsthand how important good roads are to emergency services because he'd had a house burned down himself. It's not a bad point, and a personal story wouldn't be a bad way to make it, except like so many of Biden's stories, it wasn't true. The moment came as Biden was holding court at a bridge there in Woodstock, New Hampshire, a span built in 1939. He said structures like the bridge were vital because besides their importance to businesses and residents going about their lives, they made it possible for emergency services workers to get help when it's needed in time to make a difference. And the president went on to say, he said, I know firsthand, he said, having had a house burned down with my wife in it. She got out safely, God willing. But Biden didn't have a house burned down with or without his wife in it. But he said, having a house burned down with my wife in it. He didn't have a house burned down with his wife in it or no wife in it. According to an Associated Press report about the August 2004 incident, lightning sparked a fire at the Biden home in Newcastle County, Delaware, but it was contained to the kitchen. Luckily, we got it pretty early, and local fire officials said at the time, according to the Associated Press, the fire was under control in 20 minutes, The house did not burn down. It was controlled in the kitchen. Even the fact checker at the Washington Post couldn't let that slide. They said, Biden today, we had a house burned down with my wife in it. She got out safely. 2004 AP News report a small fire that was contained to the kitchen. Jill reported the fire. The fire was under control in 20 minutes. Now, it's true that Biden amended his house burned down remark seconds later, backing it down to having a significant portion of it burn. But the point is that Joe Biden, a lie comes up just as easily to his lips as the truth if he thinks it will help make his point. And anyone claiming his house burned down with my wife in it when it didn't, and she wasn't, is lying beyond reason. For most humans, that's harmless, but most human beings aren't the president of the United States. The one we're supposed to look to for honesty and trustworthiness and leadership. We don't have that, folks. Throughout his career in politics, Biden has been a fabricator, displaying a regard for the truth so casual that any sane observer would conclude he is simply dishonest at heart. He lies about matters big and small. His first run for the presidency was derailed by a plagiarism scandal. He lied for years about the man who was driving the truck that was involved in the crash that killed Biden's first wife in 1972. Biden claimed the man was drunk. He was not. He lies about his son, Hunter's involvement with the foreign government. Can't be trusted, folks. Well, as the White House has come out to defend Vice President Kamala Harris's role in the administration, hours before failing to introduce her during the infrastructure ceremony, rumors are swirling. Congress is reviewing the process to confirm a new vice president. The latest rumor comes from an email from a source of Fox News chief congressional correspondent Chad Pegram to familiarize himself with the process in the House and Senate. The email came a few weeks later. Before the most recent developments, the reporter should start to familiarize himself with the confirmation process, not just in the Senate, but in the House for vice president. I was very surprised to get that very cryptic email just a few weeks ago. Vice News reported, Pegram told special report anchor Brett Baer, All-Star Panel podcast on Fox News. His report also came on Fox News primetime program, albeit admitting there is no news to report about Harris's status in the White House beyond Press Secretary Jen Psaki's tweet Sunday in support of the vice president amid speculation of a rift between her and President Joe Biden. If you watch any time they're together, you can see that is not the best camaraderie with the president and vice president. But goodness knows if he were to have to step down and she took over, that would be terrible, wouldn't it? 8:52, we have My Great America with Jim and Butch forthcoming. I can see the headlights of the train coming right now.
The holidays are fast approaching, and now's the perfect time to visit a new business, Different Times Mercantile. Owners Sheila and BC Deck offer new, old, and a little in between merchandise. The store is full of antiques, collectibles, brand new clothing fashions, glassware, framed art, home decor, wreaths, holiday and seasonal, unique gifts and jewelry. Open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 5, and Sundays 1 to 5. Stop into Different Times Mercantile, 548 South Main Street in Rutherford. Find your timeless treasures only at Different Times Mercantile.
You're going to be impressed with that store, folks. I'll bet you will. Stop in down. It's down 221 there, going like you're going toward the credit union there. Stop in and see what's going on there. You'll be surprised. Well, RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr., was interviewed with Fox News host Tucker Carlson, and he shot deadlier. He said COVID shot deadlier than all vaccines combined. Now, Robert F. Kennedy, known for his activism against vaccines of all kinds, drew sharp rebukes from critics when he claimed in an interview with Tucker Carlson that the COVID-19 vaccines are deadlier than all vaccines combined over the past 30 years. This is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying this. It's not me. Kennedy, in a segment of Fox Nation interview that Carlson aired on his nightly Fox News program Monday, cited data from the Centers for Disease Control's Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, known as VAERS. There have been 17,000 deaths reported to VAERS from the COVID vaccine, said Kennedy. the son of the former Attorney General and New York Senator and the nephew of President John F. Kennedy. And that's more in the last 8 months than all vaccines, the billions and billions of vaccines combined over the past 30 years. This vaccine appears to be killing more people than all vaccines combined, Robert Jr. said. Health and Human Services points out that the VAERS report is not documentation that a link has been established between a vaccine and an adverse event. However, HHS also notes that VAERS is a passive system of reporting and it receives reports for only a small fraction of actual adverse events. Many health workers have disclosed they are instructed by their superiors not to report to VAERS any harm caused by COVID vaccines. Kennedy argued in the interview that physicians have a disincentive to report any negative consequences of a vaccine they advocate for their patients. The organization Kennedy founded, Children's Health Defense, says is not against vaccines but raises issues about their safety. Now, you're not hearing much reported on the left-leaning liberal news, but Robert Kennedy Jr. is one of them. But he is not getting the coverage on the left side as probably he should when he is saying the COVID shot deadlier than all vaccines combined. Now, he's getting that information from somewhere. Well, the U.S. city is abandoning political correctness and goes nonstop for God 24 hours a day. Every word of Scripture's getting voiced on public property. A woman reads from 1 Samuel 6 at the 21st Annual Bible Reading Marathon in Stuart, Florida, back on Friday, November the 12th. In a time when millions of Americans are either becoming politically woke or abandoning anything to do with God's instructions to mankind, residents of one city are taking a valiant stand, reviewing their commitment to the Creator by reading the Bible outside on government property nonstop, day and night, from start to finish. Now, the 21st Annual Bible Reading Marathon began Thursday in Stuart, Florida, on Veterans Day and will continue through Monday until every word of Scripture has been voiced into a microphone. That ended on Monday, I believe. The idea for the annual 90-hour event began with Pastors Gene and Donna Hilton of the Spirit of Prophecy Ministries in the immediate aftermath of the terror attacks against Americans on September the 11th, 2001. When the Twin Towers came down, they said, "The Lord spoke to our hearts about doing this for our nation," said Donna Hilton. "This is for our nation, not for our church, but for the people in our country." The local governments of both Stewart and Martin County have endorsed the event since 2001, issuing official proclamation in support of publicly reading the Scripture. And they're getting away with it. We're not hearing from all these left-leaning liberals saying, "Oh, we can't do that in public." They were doing it, and they were getting away with it. Thanks for letting me be your host this morning on the Morning Wake Up Call. I'll be back tomorrow morning for a Friday morning edition. Right now, though, I'm going to slip away, get a little drink of water, get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch, all straight ahead. Hang in there, folks.
News. I'm Sherry Preston. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits has fallen for the seventh straight week to a new pandemic low of 268,000. Overall, just over 2 million Americans are collecting traditional unemployment checks in the week that ended November 6th. For a lot of Americans, it's not jobs, it's the cost of living that has become difficult. Inflation higher than it's been in 3 decades, and gas prices are now at a 7-year high.
In recent weeks, the White House has been pushed on how it plans to address soaring fuel costs. Few specifics have been offered. Republicans have slammed the administration's green initiatives, claiming the White House is waging war on American energy. Still, the administration is taking some heat from environmentalists after opening more of the Gulf of Mexico to oil and gas drilling.
That's ABC's Em Nguyen. Jurors returning to the Kenosha, Wisconsin County Courthouse in an hour to begin their 3rd day of deliberations in the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. ABC Chief Legal Analyst Dan Abrams with more on what the defense might be thinking.
I start to think that at the end of day 2 of deliberations, they're getting a little nervous now. As we talked about yesterday, if this had been a 1-day deliberation, I think that people would have thought good news for the defense. The longer you go, the more it suggests that either the jury is having issues or maybe they're going through and figuring out which counts, etc.
One of the defendants in the Ahmaud Arbery trial took the stand Wednesday in his own defense in Brunswick, Georgia. The CDC and the FDA are expected to authorize COVID boosters for all American adults probably this week. ABC News medical contributor Dr. Lale Garabadian says there's no reason not to get one.
If you're 6 months out from a Pfizer or Moderna vaccine or 2 months out from your Johnson & Johnson vaccine and you're able to get the booster to protect yourself.
The Justice Department giving $139 million to local police departments for community policing programs. This is ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
For the first time in 5 years, the leaders of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico are all getting together for a summit at the White House. It starts just after lunchtime. ABC's Karen Travers is in Washington with more.
The White House says that when President Biden sits down today with the leaders of Mexico and Canada, they'll discuss the issue of migration, but in a broad context. One focus will be on labor shortages in each country and how governments can work to match that to migrants who are looking for work. Senior administration officials said the Remain in Mexico policy is not expected to be brought up. That's the Trump administration's 2018 policy that forces asylum seekers at the U.S. southern border to remain in Mexico while awaiting a hearing on their application. The Biden administration has been working to end that policy, but has faced legal hurdles. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
Concerns growing for missing Chinese tennis star Peng Shuai. She has been missing for weeks now after posting a social media message saying that she was sexually assaulted by a retired Chinese government official. A new email reportedly from her retracts that statement. The head of the Women's Tennis Association says they don't believe that she is the one who actually wrote it. Skywatchers will get a show in the wee small hours of the morning tomorrow. A near total eclipse of the moon will start a little after 1 a.m. on the East Coast. About 3 hours later, the eclipse will be at its most intense. Space.com says this particular eclipse will be the longest in nearly 6 centuries. This is ABC News.
You love Zoom for video meetings? Now, choose Zoom to power your phone communications too. Zoom Phone works seamlessly within the Zoom app as your business phone system. Zoom Phone's secure HD audio and enterprise-grade reliability keep you connected to your teams and your customers. And it's easy to use on mobile, desktop, or desk phone. Empower your workforce with Zoom Phone. Zoom, how the world connects.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly sunny sky becoming partly cloudy this afternoon. We'll see another warm day ahead with highs today in the mid to over 70s. It'll be breezy at times with wind gusts up to 25 miles per hour for today. Could see a few small showers this afternoon, a few more showers in the forecast tonight. That's as our next cold front moves through. Once that front passes, our temperatures turn significantly cooler. Highs Friday back in the low to mid 50s. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Well, it feels almost like a mild summer today when it gets up to into low 70s, but that wind's going to bring us back down, gusting to 24 miles per hour today. Looking ahead, the extended forecast for us here in the foothills looks like on Monday, partly cloudy with highs around 57, wind gusting to 16 miles per hour. They haven't got all the leaves off the tree just yet, so they keep sending these gusts of winds to get that taken care of. Then on Monday night, wind gusting to 15 miles per hour. Wind gusting to 15 miles per hour again on Tuesday. And Wednesday, light winds. So they must be by that time, maybe all the leaves are down. And so again, make it mild winds on Wednesday. We'll find out maybe tomorrow about what Thanksgiving Day looks like weather-wise. Right now it's 9:06 and 51 degrees at WCAB.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
You know, I'm glad I was born in America.
I am so grateful I was born in America, Jim, and I'm so grateful to be here in Rutherford County. You know, this little conversation that I had with Ronald Hawkins, he was in earlier to talk about, I guess, a bluegrass festival or something. I'm not really into bluegrass, but I had a great conversation with him. When I sit in that big, oversized chair and you have guests come in, it's an opportunity for me to really get to know the community. And he and I talked for a little bit, and those couple of summers that I spent up in Easton, Pennsylvania, at Keystone Farm, the Holstein Dairy Farm, 287 milking cows, getting up when I was 13 years old, 4:30 in the morning. My Uncle Harold was ready for me to go out into the field. All of those experiences gave me the opportunity to have a conversation with Ronald where it almost felt like I was from around here. and he is from around here. He's from Ellenboro. And, you know, right there, here at the entrance to WCAB, we had a conversation about the relative merits of Guernsey cows vis-a-vis Holsteins. I was on a Holstein farm, and he, of course, had Guernseys. And I learned something that I didn't know before. I guess Guernseys have a special amino acid or whatever that colors the milk a little bit. And so if you have Guernsey butter or whatever, it's got more of a yellowish tinge to it. And so I was learning about that right here at the entrance to WCAB.
Well, I'm sorry I missed that. I wish I'd have been part of that conversation.
Well, yes, there are a lot of conversations out there that are kind of interesting and colorful, especially when Todd is the one that's leading them. But in any event, Jim, I'm so thankful on this beautiful day, this day that the Lord made, and He told us to rejoice and be glad in it. I'm mostly thankful because it tells us in Scripture, Jim, that the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is His faithfulness. And that's a song that we sing at my church, Word of Faith Fellowship, and it's one that I try to keep in my heart, because if we can get our day going in the right direction by remembering the things that are unshakable and true, it really helps us. And I take it on as a little bit of a personal assignment that after your couple of hours in the morning of having to wade through all of the things that are so disturbing in our nation, we can get a little hiatus, a little interlude, a little quiet harbor, Jim, to take our dinghy out of all of the frothy water and bring it in and remember again those things about which there's no debate, there's no dispute, we're not going to see God legislated out by progressives or by rhinos or by any other acronyms that we have for people that are in the political process.
Yeah, I like what we do here.
I do too, because it's really sort of sounding an alarm at points. It's taking a lantern and saying, you know what, we're not going to let the light of God's gospel, the light of truth, to be eclipsed, certainly on our watch. And it's not being grandiose. It's saying, hey, let's do what we can. Let's do what we can. You know, when God asked Moses, what's in your hand? I take a lot from that scripture, because God's given each of us gifts and abilities, and he expects us to be stewards of those gifts and abilities on behalf of his kingdom purposes. Now, a lot of reports coming out of Chick-fil-A, right?
Yes, oh yes.
People, I've heard stories reverberating around the county about Chick-fil-A, and it's just glorious to have them now in our community. But you know, there are also rumors about a Hobby Lobby coming.
Yes, that's true.
And I also picked up something yesterday, Jim. We may be reporting it here first. Something about a Bojangles.
We have a Bojangles.
Yes, but another one maybe.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, well let's.
We have a cookout coming.
Yeah, a cookout is coming. I also picked up word. Of course, people say from where, and I can't tell you. But I also picked up some word about the potential of a Popeyes.
Popeyes, yes.
Okay, so you know what, Jim?
Those potentials.
I forget that some people in the county referred to you as the Godfather. And so there aren't going to be new things. Now, let me ask you a quick question. We're going to do a quick poll before we jump in on some really important and meaty matters here. If you had to pick between Home Depot or Lowe's, you could only go to one or the other, what would you pick? So the number is 287-3356. You can only pick between Lowe's and Home Depot. If you could only have one of those, call right now, 287-3356.
Just mention the name of the company.
And only mention the name of the company. Don't tell us about your disastrous experience with either one of them. Lowe's or Home Depot, 287-3356. And you know what? While we're talking about communities, I want to commend to you a website. You know, Jim, one of the things that has happened is we have created a culture in this country where it's become open season on law enforcement officers in so many places. And what used to be a time when I was going through South Morrison Elementary School in Newport News, Virginia, I remember when police officers would come in and they would have their sticky badges and they'd have little things they brought from the station. There was so much honor and respect, so much honor and respect. And yet what's happened is that we have allowed voices, rancorous voices, to come after one of the pillars of a civilized society, and certainly a republic, a democracy like we have. And so I want to commend to you a website that's really great. It's policeone.com. Policeone.com.
Policeone.com?
Yes. And this is like a go-to site for law enforcement officers all over the United States. It's a policeone.com. It's a place where they can go and be encouraged and get updates and the like. And it also includes on a regular basis, this would be good for you to know with your morning programs that you do, it also includes remarkable stories of law enforcement officer heroism. They have regular updates. And so I want to encourage you, go to policeone.com, and I'll give you one quick example. This was from yesterday. According to police, officers in Atlanta were called to the scene on Sunday after a driver crashed into several houses and a tree. The video shows officers sprinting towards a burning car. A man is unresponsive, slumped over the wheel. As the flames grew taller, the officers worked together into the flames to drive the man out through the driver's side window. Investigators believe the car went airborne and traveled completely through two houses before hitting a tree and bursting into flames. Police said the driver is expected to survive. The quick thinking and bravery exhibited by Officer Adams and Officer Todd saved the occupant from a tragic outcome. We could not be prouder of these two officers. If you want a go-to place to get stories like that from around the country, they tried a snapshot from each of the states. It's, you know what, fill your mind and your heart with encouraging stories, not just all of the doom scrolling from the news feeds.
I'll have to check that out. That sounds interesting. Is that one letter one or the
Police One with the number one? Policeone.com. And if you want to, and it's the go-to apparently gateway and clearinghouse for law enforcement officers around the country who feel part of a grand kind of community and fraternity with each other. So please make sure you do that. You know, I was thinking again this morning and letting set into my heart John 17:17, where it says, sanctify them in the truth. Set them apart for your purposes. Make them holy. Your word is truth. And in a culture, in a day and age where it's kind of good Lord, good devil, and lots of people are interpreting what they believe truth is, you hear me often bang this drum, Jim. And it's one that I know you're right there, both of us doing it together. We're like a marching band of two, you know, banging this drum. The drum that we're banging is one that you really need to take to heart, and that is that in a world where people are making it up as they go, the only solid anchor that we'll find is God's Word. And I've been having a wonderful time in these two books. You know what these are? I'm going to hold these up for those of you on YouTube. This is my grandmother's Bible, who died at 99. This is my grandfather's, one of his many Bibles. He had lots of Bibles and commentaries, who died at 88. And you know what is so wonderful, Jim? It is so wonderful and it's precious to go through here and find his notes. Find his notes. Like, this is one I just discovered that fell out. It was tucked in the pages. And it's a list of all of the verses that he had related to this one place in 1 Kings. And I'm going to go, it's like a little Bible study I'm going to be able to have with pop-up, with my pop-up. But he's got so many notes here. I mean, here's a chapter with my grandmother from 1 Kings 17 where it says at the top, compare with Paul's Gospels. So she was doing her own kind of comparison and concordance work. So there are all these notes in these two, and I'm so grateful that one of the byproducts of my mother's move is that I was able to get these.
This one right here reminds me of my dad's Bible.
It does?
His was a little bit larger, but it's the same type Bible. And I remember it very well. When he finished, when he went into retirement, the pages looked a lot like this too, worn and pull out from the seams.
Right,
Used it a lot.
Right. Both of these Bibles have something in common. One is red and one is black, but you know what? They are both well worn, and there's no retreads on these. You know, they are well worn scriptures. It's just been so precious, and I love the opportunity to kind of get a sense of their hearts from the notes that they have in the corner, including some that are self-reflective, like that's me. You know, a scripture that points out a flaw or an area. So that's really been so sweet in recent days here. And it reminds me, Jim, that anytime we start to look at government as our provider, we start to look at the government as somehow the provision for our life, that creates an idol, and God will have no idols before him. You know, Jehovah Jireh is God the provider. God is our provider. It's not the next round of legislation. It's not the budget bill that's just been signed or will be signed here in North Carolina. And, you know, it reminded me that our scriptures are so replete throughout our history. And I want to give a quick reminder to folks. We talk about the House of Representatives, we talk about the dysfunction of Congress, but do you realize that in the House chamber, where you've got all the progressives and all of the anti-God rhetoric that takes place, in the House chamber is the inscription, "In God We Trust." You remember when we used to take field trips? Did you take field trips?
Yes.
Yeah, I couldn't. It was one of our field trips, I think it was in the 7th grade, as we went to Washington, D.C. And I remember just experiencing the Smithsonian for the first time, and you know my love of history and the like. I was the one lagging behind. The teacher was, because I wanted to go deep with each of the places, and you'd spend weeks there if you did that. But in the House chamber, there's an inscription, "In God We Trust." In the House chamber, above the gallery door, stands a marble relief of Moses, surrounded by 22 other lawgivers. And at the east entrance of the Senate chamber are the words in Latin, "Anut Copitis," which is Latin for "He," meaning God, has favored all our undertakings. The words "In God We Trust" are also written over the southern entrance into the Capitol. Now, in the rotunda is the painting of the baptism of Pocahontas and also the embarkation of the Pilgrims. And that, Jim, shows the Pilgrims praying on shipboard, led by William Brewster. Clearly seen in that picture is an open Bible, and in the open Bible in the picture are the words, the New Testament according to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. The words God with us are inscribed on the sail of the ship. This is in the Capitol, where so much of the anti-God stuff is happening. You got Moses there with the 22 lawgivers. What are you doing to this house that was created on the foundation of God's Word? Now, in the Capitol's chapel, you've got a stained glass window that depicts George Washington in prayer under the inscription, "This nation under God." That's the chapel in the Capitol. You wonder how many people actually use that chapel for the purposes it was created.
Yeah.
And then also you have the prayer from Psalm 16:1 that's etched in the window, which states, "Preserve me, God, for in thee do I put my trust." And then the Supreme Court, which, thank you, Jesus, we've got some people in there that appear to be principled. The Supreme Court has a number of places where there are images of Moses with the Ten Commandments. He's included among the great lawgivers in Herman McNeil's marble sculpture group on the East Front. And as you enter the Supreme Court courtroom, the two huge doors have the Ten Commandments engraved on each lower portion of the door, and a display of the Ten Commandments is engraved over the chair of the Chief Justice. So, for everyone, Jim, who bellows out, we're not a Christian nation, we didn't really come from a Judeo-Christian ethic, just get serious about your history, open your eyes, and look, because the rocks of these architectural beacons are crying out the name of Jesus Christ.
Yes, absolutely. I wonder how many folks when that stopped being such a vital part of the recollection when they went to Congress, do they ever look up on those walls, look at those ceilings, and look at those words of inspiration from the Bible? I wonder how many of them do that today.
Well, what would be interesting, and I'm not being loose or frivolous in saying this, it would be interesting before anybody was sworn in or anybody was able to settle down in their seat in Congress, to give them a multiple choice and essay test on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, wouldn't it?
That'd be great.
And to have a public posting of their grades. Seriously, Jim, I'm not being loose in saying this, but we ought to require a basic level of civics understanding on the part of the people that are representing us. And can you imagine a congressman or congresswoman or a senator being told, okay, we got some new rules here. You're going to have to take a test tomorrow. It's a 100-point multiple choice test on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and basic civics.
Wouldn't that be great, though?
Wouldn't it?
That'd be fantastic.
Well, you know what?
I'll vote for it.
Okay, well, you can start one of those online petitions, Jim, and that might gain a lot of traction, really. I love the good work that Connie Davies does in that whole arena, Carol Reynolds and others that are Word of Faith Christian School, and other schools will have a commitment to this, particularly charter schools and others that are more of a classical education. And then, of course, have you ever walked up the Washington Monument?
No, I have not.
Okay.
I walked to it, but I've never walked up.
Okay, well, you need to do that sometime. It's good for us, particularly those of us that are on Medicare. It's a great way to stay healthy. Engraved on the aluminum capstone of the Washington Monument is the Latin phrase Laus Deo, which means praise be to God. You look at the Washington Monument, the aluminum capstone pointing to the heavens. In Latin, you have Laus Deo, praise be to God. Lining the walls of the stairwell are carved tribute blocks that declare such biblical phrases as you walk up it. Holiness to the Lord. Search the scriptures. The memory of the just is blessed, and train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Those are in the wall as you walk up those stairs. And so it says in Scripture, it talks about the rocks crying out, the rocks of Washington, D.C., which have been offended with so much that is anti-God. Those rocks cry out, Jim, every single day, 24/7, with the fingerprints of the founders having etched into the stone a simple but profound declaration, and that is, this is a nation that was founded on the bedrock of God's holy word. Mildred and George Martin, one of 14 children that settled in New Hampshire. Her parents, my great-grandparents, immigrants from Sweden. The first thing that he did when he came, was to enter English classes. They preached early, long, hard, and frequently, vote. You get out there and vote. George Martin, grew up basically as an orphan. He took care of his mother. He ended up being somebody that took hold of the elderly at Calvary Independent Church in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Production control manager of the Schick Company, never complained about a difficult life. He found his solace, he found his encouragement, he found truth, and he found God's way for his path with his 11 children, my mother of which is the oldest of those 11. Both of them were going to self-help books, child books, Dr. Spock. They were going to God's Word. And Jim, the only book, and in these days that can feel so desperate because they are, please, people, I implore you, I beg you to do what God's putting on my heart to do. I'm tired of my own opinions, Jim. I am weary of the opinions that aren't often God's words.
But you get your inspiration, though, from folks like our history.
Yes.
You get your inspiration from that.
Yes.
And from the Holy Scriptures.
Yes.
So your opinions are important because you've developed those opinions based on the history.
Well, what I want...
What God's leadership in you.
Okay, I don't want to say get thee behind me. That's not what I'm going to say, but what I want are convictions. Yeah. Convictions more than opinions that are based on God's Word. And it's what I appreciate so much about you, Jim, is that you're not a waffling kind of person. You're not a Waffle House kind of person. You're somebody that's a person of deep and abiding conviction. And you know what? You go back to even George Washington. There are people in our country, young people in our country, that if you were to ask them to name 3 salient points about our first president and the one who led us through that improbable victory in the Revolutionary War, they'd not be able to give you 3 relevant things about him. And so as we come, we're running out of time. We're almost done. As we come to the end here, I want to remind everyone that our presidents, if they set their heart to do it, will in the course of their presidency develop a somber sense that they don't know but God does. And let's listen to the words that came from George Washington in one of his presidential prayers. This actually came from an undated George Washington prayer journal. This is what he said. "O eternal and everlasting God, I presume to present myself this morning before thy divine majesty, beseeching thee to accept my humble and hearty thanks, that it hath pleased thy great goodness to keep and preserve me the night past from all the dangers poor mortals are subject to, and has given me sweet and pleasant sleep, whereby I find my body refreshed and comforted for performing the duties of this day, in which I beseech thee to defend me from all perils of body and soul. Increase my faith in the sweet promises of the gospel. Give me repentance from dead works. Pardon my wanderings, and direct my thoughts unto thyself, the God of my salvation. Teach me how to live in thy fear, labor in thy service, and ever to run in the ways of thy commandments. Make me always watchful over my heart, that neither the terrors of conscience, the loathing of holy duties, the love of sin, nor an unwillingness to depart this life may cast me into a spiritual slumber, but daily frame me more and more into the likeness of thy Son, Jesus Christ, that living in thy fear and dying in thy favor, I may, in thy appointed time, attain the resurrection of the just unto eternal life. Bless my family, friends, and kindred." George Washington.
Wow. I pray that we'll have more leaders like that come forward. We need more like that.
Well, let it begin with us today, folks. And so My Great America with Jim and Butch is a striking of the match and a lifting of the torch. God's word is true. Find your truth, find your anchor, find your direction in him today. And as we do that together, we'll see a better county, a better state, and a better America.
God bless America.
God bless America.
Have a good weekend. I'll see you next week.
All right, Jim.
thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.